Our culture is not an exercise in intellectualism, and that's how people are treating it. It's an intellectual exercise. We need a lifestyle supported by study groups, not just study groups for the sake of study groups. What's the point of learning Metal Nature if you're not raising a community that's actually going to speak Metal Nature? So at one point, they're going to have to come home. Y'all see, we already won. Jay-Z had that song, I'm Already Home. Exactly. You're going to have to come home. Right. We got some Jetty here now in the year, so we're going to be speaking fluid Metal Nature. And they be like, oh, word? Y'all doing it down there? Yeah, come on down. We trying to tell you. Right. But the most disheartening thing about it is we're stuck in this dialogue about heritage and who we are. We can't even move on in the dialogue because we constantly have to revisit who we are. And it's like these days you can't be black enough. Remember back in the days when we was having an argument of how Adam was black and Jesus was black? Now they took that away. You know Adam didn't exist. Jesus didn't exist. Like, damn, it's crazy. I thought I was doing something. We thought we was reclaiming something. Now it don't even matter what color they are. It's all BS. Like, okay, remember when they proved that the Egyptians wasn't white, they was black, and that it was us, and we built the pyramids. Now we take that back, but that ain't talking about us. Y'all Negroes West African, fine, then we do the West African thing, we do Ifa, but now they like, but that was back then, we over here now. These are definitions of bipolarism and schizophrenia in the academic field. Nobody makes up their mind. As soon as we think it's one thing, they shift to something else. Right. So the point is, it doesn't matter if you're dealing with science or spirituality, we all are faced with the question of who are we and where do we come from? That's the ultimate question. So now, science will tell you Homo sapiens sapien, the modern man, come from Homo erectus and all these homos. No pun intended. That there are these variations of humans, and as far as their technology go back, they'll always tell you some form that we existed. And now, here's where it crosses emergence into spirituality. What's the saying? We're spiritual beings having a what? Human experience. Spiritual beings having a what? Human experience. Now, our ancestors said men are mortal gods and goddesses, and goddesses are mortal men. So we're infinite beings, infinite consciousnesses, infinite beings having a finite experience in this melanoid body that we happen to call African every now and then, that we happen to call Kemetic, we happen to call Kushite, we happen to call Abyssinian, we happen to call Moorish, we happen to call, y'all see what's happening? It's the Creator expressing itself through all of these things. And all of these things, spirituality and science, is all telling us the same thing, that we come from the mystery. We come from the unknown. Same conclusion, whether it's spiritual or scientific. Nobody knows the beginning, but spirituality is different because it says you can access the unknown. You can know the unknown through your intuition. And then you curse with limitation because your left brain don't have enough words to express what you know. Exactly. Now we speak in likenesses. Nature is like the sun. You know, so we worship the sun. It's kind of like the air. So we worship the... Now you see how religions start developing because you're trying to explain something that can't be explained. So African spirituality, religion, is a holistic way of life. Inside of it is encoded how to heal thyself and how to do conflict resolution and etc. Spirituality was the worldview. We connected and communed with nature/netter. It gave us purpose and empowerment. That is what African spirituality is. It gives you purpose and empowerment through being in tune with your environment. That is your worldview, being in tune with nature. So now when the white folks came in, they had to destabilize our psyche. And the first way to destabilize a people is you got to get rid of their spiritual system. So if our spiritual system had the healing in it, they got to disrupt that. If it had the empowerment in it, they had to disrupt that. So once they destabilized our spiritual system, they injected the BS, and we've been on the BS ever since. Yes. So now, remember I said the statement about you can have black folks with activated white genetics. You have a black person speaking, but they have, because of what's going on in their genetics, it could be a white ancestor speaking through them or acting through them, unbeknownst to them, all under the auspices of using the word science, not knowing that you're approaching and acting like a European and how the Europeans look at our tradition. So that's our current state. It's starting to sound familiar. So here we are, we reestablished and activated our connection with Neteru, our ancestors, our moral and ethical code, and our initiation. And the things that we've come up with is just as authentic to us and for us as anything on the continent. It's based off of the same principles. So now our current situation, said parties are now attacking our symbols. They're attacking our icons. So when white folks did what they did to destabilize the psyche, that was for the sole purpose of dehumanizing you. Did y'all get that? That was the sole purpose of dehumanizing. So now, listen to this conversation in the conscious community. Oh, it's nonsense, rituals, and when people become religious, they don't think. So they're attacking the symbols and the icons and the rituals for the sole purpose to take away our purpose. To take away what we've identified ourselves by. So what they're saying is you don't have the right to try to be great again. What they're saying is just focus on our oppression. That's everybody's dialogue outside the Temple of Anu. Everybody's talking about our oppression. What does our teaching say? When a thought exclusively occupies the mind, it becomes what? Actual physical state. So if all you're talking about focusing on is your oppression, you stay oppressed. So we need liberation thinking from struggle consciousness into power consciousness, empowerment consciousness.